So what's up, guys? I've been trying to do some diagnostic work here and figure out why we were burning so much oil on our number 8 cylinder on the engine that was in Fanged. So, I mean, the bearings look pretty decent. They're in really decent shape. I mean, nothing you can catch a fingernail on. And the bearings, I mean, yeah, it was beat, but even with the glove, I mean, you can't really. They look a lot worse than they are. The only really thing I found, because the rings were gapped, well, they were staggered, so the compression ring you could see is got its gap there. Your second ring is over here. Here's the only weird thing that I kind of found on the oil control rings when I pulled it apart. So let's swing this around. So if you look on here, this should be staggered. So I'm gonna put this down and see if it'll stay. So what we got going on right here, come on, focus. So that is one of the openings of the oil control ring. Here's the second, which is right next to it. And then you have the actual ring itself where it all connects. So all this was put together. This should be staggered, and being as how close it was to this, there's a possibility that this could have moved slightly when I pulled it out. So if this ring, let's just say that ring was right there, you've got all this. I mean, this right here, I mean, there's not any movement in this oil control ring either, so I don't think it was doing its job, because there's nothing. I mean, it's like it's pretty well buried. You know, there's not a lot of play in here. And plus I found a couple that look like plastic pieces. Yeah, you can kind of see that right there. But with everything being lined up like that, and how shitty this ring is, I'm gonna say that's probably our issue. I mean, overall, the skirt's got normal wear on them. Yeah, there's some scuffing on here. And yeah, that is definitely noticeable. You could definitely feel that. So, not sure on that. I mean, these are stock TRW pistons. You know, as you can see right there, it says TRW, you know, Ford. So, you know, they are your stock forged Ford pistons. But, so, that's my thoughts. If you got any, you know, suggestions or comments or anything, leave them down below. Thanks. So, taking a look at this cylinder here too, I mean, this might be kind of hard to see with the lighting. Come on, focus. But I don't know if this was a re-ring job on this thing that went bad, but there is no crosshatch in these cylinders. It's like someone took either the dingle ball and just kind of hung it in one place and just kind of ran it, because I mean, these are straight, from what I'm seeing, is just straight marks, you know, going across the cylinders, like no crosshatch. I mean, there's no real scoring or gouging. That's just from where white, but I mean, that is not a, sorry, that we're not in focus. That's not a typical crosshatch pattern you would see. Yeah, it kind of looks that way with the other ones. So either someone just took some sandpaper. So this was definitely a re-ring. But it was definitely not done the right way, because these cylinders have no crosshatch. How this thing, now, that's probably why we were blowing oil so bad. Like I said, what's really wild is it was really only fouling out one plug. The rest of the plugs look pretty good. So I don't know, maybe we'll put a dial bore gauge in here, see what these, I know they're stock clearance, but just kind of see what they're at. Double check piston to wall clearance. I don't know, maybe this is usable. I mean, maybe it could be dingleballed. I don't know. I've got a bunch of engines laying around anyway that, you know, I can use, but that's kind of what I'm going with. That's my diagnosis here. So this definitely looks like a rear ring job that was not done properly. There should be a crosshatch pattern inside that cylinder hole, and from what you can see, that's just straight. That's a no-no. Surprised this thing ran as good as it did. Well, just goes to show you, man, not everything has to be perfect on your motors for them to run. I mean, I've seen some pretty sketchy stuff, and you know, this is kind of sketch. So, I'll run. I mean, that's what motors want to do. They want to run, but we'll see what happens. All right, guys.